After 11.5 minutes of speaking, the ancient writer has the ancient speaker begin his closing remarks. We're down to the 2-minute warning. To this point, we've heard the ancient writer's rendition of the ancient speaker's contiguous line of thought. That is, thus far, he communicated a shift from just doing religion to being in the way. He has the speaker continue by explaining to his religious leaders the manner in which provision comes. Religion uses the speaker's words as the so-named name it and claim it teaching of Jesus. It is more than evident by now that name it and claim it was not at all Jesus' point. Ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds. And to the one who knocks it shall be opened. For what parent is there among you, when your son shall ask you for a loaf, will give him a stone? Or if he shall ask you for a fish, you will not give him a snake, will you? If you then, being evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more shall your Father within you give what is good to those who ask you? Therefore, however you want people to treat you, so treat them. For this is the law and the prophets. Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide, and the way is broad that leads to destruction, and many are those who enter by it. For the gate is small, and the way is narrow that leads to life, and few are those who find it. Before she died, my mother used to say, "Why blame God?" She was referring to the Christian habit of giving a God credit for everything that happens, while denying one's own responsibility. In a manner of speaking, I think this was similar to Jesus' point. One of the big questions throughout history has been, why is there so much human suffering in the world? Is it because a God wills it so? Or could it be that we lack the compassion or the political will to address the problem ourselves? Natural disasters, hurricanes, floods, earthquakes, and the like are indeed, as the label implies, just that, natural. But what about human suffering, millions of starving children, wars, disease, slavery, and on and on? In the ancient text, the speaker speaks of ask, seek, and knock, how one will be provided for in the same manner in which one understands providing for others. The intended visceral response from the ancient speaker's listeners, known as people of the way, is simple. If someone asks, people of the way want to give to them. Someone seeks, people of the way want to help them to find. Someone knocks, people of the way want to open the door for them. Note the humanity in the text. The metaphor is about parents and children. When I was young, my parents provided my needs whether I had been good that day or not. The ancient writer has Jesus ask, wouldn't your parent within you do the same? Then the writer has the ancient speaker compare your Father in heaven with your parents. I refer you again to the For Heaven's Sakes playlist on our channel for a fuller understanding of this phrase. This leader of your inward household, your Father, is within you. You may be thinking, no way, Elise. But one only need look at the very next sentence. Is the speaker speaking of a kingdom beyond the clouds, or to a kingdom within you? Where does provision originate? The therefore is there for a reason. About 10 minutes ago, the ancient writer has the ancient speaker say that he intended to fulfill the law and the prophets. The telling is therefore in the very next sentence. The speaker summarizing therefore statement historically known as the golden rule. Therefore, however you want people to treat you, so treat them. For this is the law and the prophets. The ancient speaker seems to say, as you would have others provide for you, you should provide for them. For this is the purpose of the law and the prophets. Provision only comes for others when a theos, a parent, within you provides. As Mom said, why blame God? It is the condition of the attitude within each of us, within our kingdom of heaven, that limits how much suffering in the world gets addressed. Surely the way cannot be at the same time as simple and as poignant as it sounds. We hear 1,000,000 times a Sunday, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, implying a supernatural salvation by following beliefs in a supernatural Jesus. Perhaps Jesus was just a simple man who taught people of the way how to be content without religion. The way we live in community with others would be greatly improved if we followed his natural way that is better expressed, the way that is the truth about life. The ancient speaker's thoughts are just naturally super, not supernatural. The speaker's 2-minute warning amounts to a simple statement. Provision comes in the way people of the way see providing for others. The ancient writer has Jesus conclude his 2-minute warning. Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is broad that leads to destruction, and many are those who enter by it. For the gate is small and the way is narrow that leads to life, and few are those who find it. Both modern atheists and modern theists seem to enter life by the same broad gate. All either one talk about is religion. Here we will pick up in our next video. What does this last statement mean? Who enters by the broad gate? Look in your own Bible and ask yourself, what ancient demographic is identified in the very next sentence after the gate metaphor?